Seahawks fans, brace yourselves. The offense just unleashed a storm that left the Raiders reeling. Imagine scoring 23 points but feeling like you should have put up triple that. This preseason game wasn't just a tie. It was a statement. A powerful glimpse at the rising stars who could change Seattle's future forever. Today, we break down the hidden heroes who are battling for their chance to shine and why this team's future looks brighter than ever. You won't believe who's making waves right now. The Seattle Seahawks offense had an incredible day on the field. Even though they scored only 23 points, it felt like they could have easily scored 123. From start to finish, the Seahawks were clearly the better team, especially in the first half. The players who got the most time early on dominated the Raiders completely. This game wasn't just about the final score, it was about the battles happening on the field, players fighting hard to earn their spot on the team. There are many players competing for roster spots, but most of the real action was in that first half, where those on the edge of making the team showed how good they can be. In this video, we're focusing on 3 of those standout players who caught my eye with their huge potential. Their performances gave me hope about this Seahawks team's future. Seattle's front office is clearly doing something right, too. They just extended their GM, Schneider, and you can see why. The draft picks are starting to pay off, and the team is building depth at every position: quarterback, wide receiver, running back, even the offensive line. Depth means strength, and strength means winning games. Now, let's talk about the first player making big waves. Torrey Horton. Drafted in the 5th round, number 168 overall, Torrey was a key pick for this team. Standing 6'3" and 185 pounds, he fits the role of a big, long-armed receiver the Seahawks desperately needed. What surprised me wasn't just his size or skills, it was his athleticism. Torrey's raw score, which measures athletic ability, is an impressive 9.4, a clear sign he's an elite athlete with serious upside. His performance in this game showed why he could be a major weapon for the Seahawks offense moving forward. Who do you think will rise and become a Seahawks star this season? Drop your top pick in the comments and tell me how confident you are in Seattle's offense this year. Let's get the conversation started. If you haven't heard about RAW before, it stands for Relative Athletic Score. It's a way to measure how athletic a player is compared to every wide receiver who has ever tested at the NFL Combine. Torrey Horton's score? A jaw-dropping 9.4. That means he's more athletic than 94% of all wide receivers who've been tested. To put it simply, out of every receiver ever tested, Torrey ranks as the 207th most athletic. Now, athleticism isn't just about raw speed, but Torrey's 4.46-second 40-yard dash is really impressive for a guy his size. When you mix that speed with his height and explosiveness, you get an athlete who ranks in the top 10% of all wide receivers. That's no small feat. But here's the truth. Being athletic doesn't automatically mean you're a superstar on the field. It means you have the tools to become one, but you still have to show it in games. Watching Torrey play in the preseason was an eye-opener. Yeah, maybe you're a true football fan if you find yourself watching preseason games of teams that aren't even yours. That's obsession. But it was worth it. Torrey had an absolute standout day. His first catch was a quick, clean 8-yard reception lined up in the slot. Then, he moved out wide and showed he can do more than just one thing on offense. There was one play where he fought through coverage from Dekamarion Richardson, a guy who's been impressing in Seahawks camp. Torrey even drew a penalty on Richardson on that play. But the real highlight? The final catch. Watching Torrey in college, you expect a steady player with long legs who can get up to speed. But what surprised me was his burst, his sudden quickness. On one play, Torrey made 2 defenders collide into each other, spun around another defender with ease, and left them all behind. I was hooked. This guy isn't just good. He's special. And it's not just me who thinks so. According to Puff stats from his college days, Torrey was a highly efficient receiver. He played 5 years, including at Colorado State, and kept getting better. While he wasn't always a deep threat, his consistent play and smart route running made him a valuable weapon. His average yards per catch dipped slightly in his last year, but he remained solid and reliable. Okay, I could talk all day about Torrey Horton, but now let's switch gears. The next player you need to know about is George Holani. Yes, the other running back from Boise State. The one you might have forgotten, but shouldn't. Stay tuned, because his story is just as exciting. Are you surprised by Torrey Horton's athleticism and skills? Who else do you think will surprise us this preseason? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. I want to hear what you think about these rising Seahawks stars. Now, let's talk about George Holani. Last preseason, he showed some promise, averaging over 4 yards per carry on about 15 to 20 carries. That was solid. But the real question was, could he hold his spot when the team picked up Damon Martinez in the 7th round? If the Seahawks were only keeping 4 running backs, that pick could push Holani out. Then, out of nowhere, Kenny McIntosh suffers a season-ending ACL injury. That changed everything. Suddenly, Holani got more chances to show what he's made of, and boy, did he deliver. In the game, he was the clear best running back on the field. 7 rushes for 61 yards, he was getting all the early carries. The coaches made it clear, Holani is ahead of Martinez on the depth chart right now. Watching Holani run, you might not immediately think super athlete. Because of his running style, it looks a little stiff-legged. But don't let that fool you. This guy is an elite athlete in the top 10% for running backs. His explosion off the line is electric. He made sharp jump cuts, turned runs that seemed blocked inside into long gains by cutting outside, and even scored a touchdown showing his speed and vision. It was seriously impressive. With a guy like Kenneth Walker who often battles injuries, the Seahawks need a reliable backup who can take 5 to 10 carries a game. Could Holani be that guy? Maybe. Damon Martinez is no slouch either. He's got a raw score of 8.52, which means he's highly athletic. But Holani is faster, flat out quicker. He's a little smaller, probably 10 to 15 pounds lighter, but that speed makes a huge difference. Right now, the Seahawks have 4 running backs with real potential, and that depth is something special. For context, George Holani's PUF rating the last 2 years at Boise State was 86.6, which is very solid. Martinez's rating was even higher at 91.2. So the competition at running back is fierce and exciting. Okay, so that's your offense. Torrey Horton and George Holani making waves. Now let's switch to defense, where a name you need to remember is Nehemiah Bridgett. Bridgett was a 5th-round pick last year, and many said the Seahawks stole a burner with him. He ran a blazing 4.36-second 40-yard dash at Auburn, but he was raw and had a lot to learn. Last year, it showed. He played 151 snaps but struggled mightily, earning one of the worst PUF grades you'll ever see, around 29.5. That's rough. But in this preseason game, he looked completely different. He was always around the ball, making plays and showing great instincts. He even picked off a couple of passes. Athleticism is never the problem with this guy, it's about learning the game. If he can master the details, he could be a real force on Seattle's defense. Who impressed you most so far? The speedy Torrey Horton, the powerful George Holani, or the promising Nehemiah Bridgett? Tell me who you think will make the biggest impact this season in the comments below. This guy could be a real key piece for the Seahawks' depth. You always need at least 4 corners on the roster because quarterbacks get hurt. It's just part of the game. Having solid depth at cornerback can make or break a defense during the season. Now, I've got to mention Jaylen Milro. In the game, he completed 6 of 10 passes, which is solid for a preseason. But what really caught people's attention were the words from Drew Lockock at McDonald's. He said, "Jaylen made really smart decisions with the ball when throwing. But man, did he look electric running with his legs." Watching Milro on the field, you see a big difference between him and a guy like Lamar Jackson. Lamar has that crazy lateral quickness to dodge defenders coming at him, while Milro's strength is pure speed once he breaks out of the pocket. It's that rare kind of speed that jumps off the screen. It reminds you of the Lamar Jackson we all watched tear up defenses a few years ago. This kind of speed isn't common in the NFL. When you see it, you know there's something special there. Jaylen Milro could be the future, someone with real game-changing ability both as a passer and a runner. This preseason game was really encouraging. The Seahawks showed flashes of greatness, and players like Milro gave us a glimpse of what could come. Thanks for watching, and make sure you stay tuned for the next update. This team's story is just getting started. What do you think about Jaylen Milro's speed and decision-making? Could he be the future Seahawks star? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below.